Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everybody who's been coming to this YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and leave your comments, whether positive or negative. Much love, much prayers to everybody out there on this Sunday evening. This here is Live Conversations number 121. Live Conversations number 121. And the topic is child discipline, in these days versus from back then when some of us, or a lot of us, was growing up. My disclaimer is I'm not a pastor, preacher, apostle, bishop, or I don't hold any type of office in the church, so please do not lay claims of those titles on me. And also, if you have any feedback from the biblical discussion from yesterday, feel free feel free to leave it here. You know, in the chat room or whatever the case may be. What type of topics y'all want to hear? Biblical discussions on. We got a few more biblical discussions coming up for sure. Absolutely. But yesterday was a pretty respectful biblical discussion in general. And to those who are interested in having a biblical discussion in general, hit me up, XERTONYHARVIN at gmail.com. What up to everybody in the chat room? Moni, what up? What up? Appreciate that. What up, Nation Buyers? Greetings to you too. Ruth Torres, greetings to you too. Sister Shay, what's up? What up, Jesus Christ is Lord of King of Kings? Greetings, brother. Greetings to you too. And what is that? Jalil Gibson, what's up? What's up? Hope all is well. So you says when you have disciplined children, don't talk back. They don't become disrespectful. You have to really watch how you discipline your children. I have a cousin that her child slaps her. You said you have a cousin who has a child that slaps her. Wow. Why does she allow her child to slap her? Does she do anything back? You understand that? But I'm sorry. My children don't even look at me a certain way, you know. But once you got that discipline, once you got that look and things of that nature, that you're not playing around, you know, um, you don't have to worry about things like that. But I don't understand parents like that who allow their children to talk back, and for the wow, I wouldn't expect, and I believe that children, as you stated, put their hands on their parents. That's crazy right there. What up, Anthony Brody? Anthony Cruz, what up? What up? What up, Try? Stacey Anderson says, greetings and peace unto you from El Paso, Texas. What up, Tyrone Gills? He says, Anthony Cruz says, I have twin 4-year-old boys that are kind of wild and very energetic and don't listen. So how would I correct them? Well, listen, I have 2 daughters the same way who are very energetic and stuff like that. Listen, pow pow. You understand? Pow pow. Or, usually if kids are very energetic and, wild and stuff like that, give them something to do. You know what I mean? Give them something to do. Artwork, draw, color, play some type of sports in the house games and things like that. I guess take them outside on the swings and whatnot. Positive stuff like that so they can burn all that energy away. You know what I mean? So once in a while, I may do something like that. If I see my daughters have a lot of energy, take them outside, with all the swings. They'll burn their energy out. Trust me, they will. They're definitely burning it out. But of course, we was kids before. I was very energetic. I took it out on football, basketball, playing hide and seek, running around and stuff like that. So by the time I came in the house, I got through playing around, I was tired, you know. So Moni says, brother, I'm going to send you these videos momentarily. Please let me know what videos you talking about. What videos? What up, MD? What up, O? He says, pow, pow. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some parents, I'm not pointing anybody out there, but some parents don't want to hit their kids, but me, nah. You're gonna get that work. You're gonna get that business. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be anything to kill you, you know what I mean? But it's gonna put you in line, it's gonna line you up. For sure. You're gonna get a pluck in the ear, you're gonna get hemmed up or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't play that. Oliver Lilly says, "What's up, Mr. Harvin? What up? What up?" Stacey Anderson says, "Spanking son the bottom within reason is acceptable. Beatings are never acceptable." Well, uh, I mean, it depends how you classify beating. You know, depends how you classify beating because some people used to get whooped. I'm talking about whooped with hangers, branches, um, pots and pans, and wooden bats, and what have you. You know, I mean, they used to allow the teachers to do that. They used to allow the coaches and whatnot to do that back in the day. Your neighbors, you know what I'm saying? And these days, America has become sensitive. You know, I know in other countries that stuff is still allowed. You know, but over here in America is very sensitive. Anthony Cruz, he says, "What city you in?" I am originally from Jersey City, New Jersey, residing in North Carolina. Jesus Christ is Lord of Kings. Jesus Christ is Lord, King of Kings. Okay, you said, "I don't play with kids. I will smoke one of them, especially for disrespect. You know, knowledge shall increase." What up, what up, what up? What is that? Pebbles says, "The Bible speaks about the rod." Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's justified and, to line your kids up. Some parents don't. Some parents feel bad when they spank their kids or hit their kids or whatever. Not here. You know what I'm saying? Not here at all. You know what I mean? So a lot of kids in these days are missing that type of discipline. That's why a lot of them, a high percentage of them, act the way they act in these days. You know, they go around. You know, who would have thought a 10-year-old would go around walking around with their pants hanging down, cursing, smoking weed and stuff like that, smoking a cigarette and things like that, standing on the corner? Nah. You know what I'm saying? We know better back in the day when we used to get disciplined. You know what I'm saying? That if we was to even do something like that, we would definitely get dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, hands down. Hands down. You know what I'm saying? At 10 years old, I'm not thinking about, I wasn't thinking about sagging my pants and smoking weed and stuff like that. I'm thinking about playing football. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't understand what's wrong in these days that some parents don't like to discipline their kids. Anthony Cruz says, "How long you been following a True God program? He always mentions you." Well, the way I put it in the videos is that the introduction, how I got the introduction is from one program that I use as an introduction. If you're talking about the uppercuts and stuff like that, I put that in the videos, and the outro is what a lot of people always hear it. So I came up with my own introduction, and I came up with my own outro. You know what I mean? And a lot of videos. So that's what you probably been hearing. You know what I'm saying? When you say, "Make sure you play this," or you hear at the end that he says Tony Harvin, he loves this program. I created that intro and outro, and but in general, about 2014, came across TOG and started broadcasting them here on my YouTube channel in 2016. You know, I always had a YouTube channel since about 2007. I didn't really take it serious to about 2000 and I don't know 14, 15, really start to put out videos consistently and things of that nature, still a learning progress on here, you know. Um, Knowledge Shall Increase says, "Ever got a beat with a banana branch?" I never heard of that. I never heard of that. Try says, "The father has to do most of the discipline with presence, set boundaries of life and death matters. That's dad's job. That's when dad gives you a serious spanking only." Aaron Sparrow says, "Greetings, brother T. This world is truly wicked, sagging and cursing." Absolutely. I never understood the art of sagging pants in general. I never understood it, even when I was young. Of course, that stuff is old. You know, when I was young, I used to always see that. It's just a replay. It's just a rerun that these kids are doing. It's just a rerun. Now it's just more enhanced in these days, they get a kick out of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I really don't understand that. He said, "Keep them uppercuts going." Jesus Christ is Lord. King of Kings says, "When I was growing up, whenever we showed our hips at especially for disrespect, my parents would deal with us right where we stood." Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We walking in the malls, We shopping and whatnot, and we get out of line. Listen, we'll get a slap or we'll get our behinds, lit up out in public. And these days you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got somebody probably with a camera phone recording like, oh, this parent is bad, oh, they beating their kids. Not a video that went viral. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's crazy out here with these people out here, so sensitive to you disciplining your child. You got to take them to the bathroom to be in private to do it. But me not here. Listen, I'll give you the business right in front of people. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Put me on camera. Put me on camera whooping my children if they get out of line. I would love it. You know what I'm saying? Because the world needs more of that for sure. You know what I mean? Anthony Cruz says, you know about C-Rock Smooth? Who does the same thing? Spread TOG message on YouTube. Yeah, shout out to C-Rock Smooth and his secondary YouTube channel is Juicy TV. Jude and Perdido also put out The Truth of God. And we have there's another one, World Made Simple. They haven't put out The Truth of God in about 3 or 4 years now. I don't know the real solid detail on why he stopped. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna put out his personal business or what he told me. But there are a lot of other YouTubers putting out The Truth of God, man. It's so many. It's so many out there. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. You know what I mean? I can't even name them right now because it's so many. And I mean that's on them. You know what I mean? All right. Moni says, I have a cousin that has 3 children, 2 different fathers, never married. That doesn't know how to be a good mother. Lies about some people don't want to discipline their kids. Understandable. Imani, who says, good afternoon. How are you? I'm good. I'm just maintaining. We're maintaining on this Sunday evening. We're talking about this topic of child discipline and whatnot, and I hope everybody's doing well in general in the chat room. So back to Moni. You said you have a cousin that has 3 children. So he said, doesn't know how to be a good mother. Lies. Some people, you're right. Some people don't want to discipline their kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. You understand? I really, really don't know why they don't want to do it. Anthony Cruz says, I wanted to do the same thing, spread TOG on my YouTube channel. I only watch you and C-Rock Smooth. All right, can y'all excuse me for a second? I'll be right back. Just excuse me for 1 second. You know what I mean? All right. So, Anthony Cruz, you said you wanted to do the same thing, spread TOG on your YouTube channel. You only watch me and C-Rock Smooth. Well, I will say this. When you spread the TOG, you will be crucified. Absolutely. Whether dealing with YouTube, whether dealing with other people in general. You know what I'm saying? So you're stepping into a different realm, because you're definitely going to be watched by, Google, YouTube, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that. You know what I mean? Those who put out the truth will definitely suffer. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to be up for it. You know what I mean? But it's no problem if somebody put out the truth of God, as long as it's decency and in order in general. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people putting out the truth of God, and you definitely got to be, I'm just speaking in general. You definitely got to be sincere when putting out the truth of God, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them, other YouTubers who's putting out the truth of God, is doing it for popularity, subscribers, and attention and whatnot. All right, but I know you are sincere for sure. But but yeah, sure, you could do it. You know what I mean? You definitely could do it. What is that? Trend. You says my son is 1. I pop his hand now, but many say it's too early. What do you think? Well, listen, listen. You the parent. You the parent. You know what I'm saying? You the parent. At the end of the day, you the parent. You know what I mean? I don't remember when I start, disciplining my kids. But I wouldn't pop in the hand. Hey, I think I did that too. You know what I'm saying? Pop a hand, pluck a finger, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't listen to what other people say. Oh, you're too young to this, to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? I'm the parent here. So you do your thing, what you think is best in general. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge shall increase says public beating is nice. My mother dealt with me one time and and people laughed at me and I was embarrassed. Oh, that's funny. You know what I mean? I used to see, kids in school get beat by their parents. You know what I mean? Inside the school. Inside the school, man. Moni says the sagging on pants got started right in Detroit, came from uh, King drug kingpin group named YBI. You'll see a lot of books on them. They the ones that started the trend started about 1978. Okay, got you. All right. You said okay. I read that. What up, Tasha? Stacey Anderson says instead of yelling and slapping, I lower my voice to a whisper so that they have to lean in real close, which alerts them to the seriousness of the matter, and they quick and they fall in line quickly. Stacey Anderson, that can work. You know what I mean? Sometimes a parent's demeanor can definitely put a child back in order. You just get them that look, or didn't I tell you, or you know what I mean? Whatever works, whatever works. I mean, sometimes you don't have to hit. It's just your whole demeanor that puts a kid definitely in check that you're not playing. You know what I mean? You're definitely not playing. And a lot of these kids out there is definitely missing that. When I see kids or hear kids disrespecting their parents and whatnot, and cursing and carrying on, oh man, that I just be like, I wish, you know what I mean? I just be like, I could definitely put the kids back in line for sure, definitely, and probably one day, these kids been around their parents 15 years and parents can't do nothing. Give me one day with a child that's out of line. Just give me one day, 1 hour. That's it. Just give me one good hour. What up, Justice Power? Jesus Christ is Lord. King of Kings says, if we don't spare the rod, these kids will try to spare the rod on parents. Absolutely. And they have. Disrespecting their parents, coming in, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old coming in 2 o'clock in the morning on a school night. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's definitely crazy. It's stories like that. 12, 13-year-old. We just heard about the story, right? With the teenagers in New York City beating a taxi cab driver, a 13-year-old out 6 o'clock in the morning. Really? You know what I'm saying? Really? Where was the parents? One of the people asked. I don't know. That couldn't have been me though, for sure. Couldn't have been me. It used to be this thing on Fox 5 News in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut. It used to always play at 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? I'm pretty sure some people remember that. If you're from the East Coast, I used to always play. Every time wrestling would go off or something like that, 10 o'clock would come. Always on Fox 5, at 10 o'clock. It always asks, do you know where your children are? And guess what? Tony Harvin was right in the bed, for sure. Shelly Hudson says, I can count on one hand how many times I was whooped with a switch, never a belt or extension cords, because my mom just didn't believe in kids being disciplined with one of those. Well, I mean, that's cool and everything, but a lot of us got that work. We got that business by our parents and especially our grandparents. The grandparents was, whew, oh man. The grandparents, whew, they was on another level. What up, Jen Juice? What up? What up? Shelly Hudson says, you says never whooped by my parents, but my godparents, my mom had a habit of slapping us in the face. I thought the woman was crazy, and both my parents had a habit of calling us out of our name. Mm. Tyler says them noise crunches they do used to be my nightmares. Jinju says, gotta watch today's broadcast after this. I'm hungry for that word. Absolutely. I believe he was talking about Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley. He was talking about how Steve Harvey mentioned his name, in reference to, his so-called religion of, what is that, Chrislam or something like that. Listen, Steve Harvey needed to just, play his position, on Family Feud or whatever he's doing. He's stepping into a different realm. These people, and what Steve Harvey do is cool. You know what I'm saying, that he's do he help out the youth and stuff like that. But when you step into a realm with somebody who really knows the word of God, man, and you just know what you know as far as like in TV land with horse teeth and stuff like that. Listen, just play your position. Steve Harvey, you know what I'm saying? With all his books and stuff like that, it's cool and everything. But listen, man, sometimes you can't bother a real fighter, especially with the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? All that Hollywood stuff and things like that. Also with Ricky Smiley and whatnot. You know what I mean? That's just it's some advice to those two guys out there. Listen, just be cool, do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If that what was said, that the person had said, that Mr. Harvey said that about PJ and whatnot. I mean, I haven't heard it yet. I try to research Google, try to research YouTube and stuff like that to find it, but I can't find it. You know what I mean? I really can't find it. It's probably one of those situations where, as though I had heard something on Power 105 with Charlamagne the God, somebody mentioned Geno Jennings. You know what I mean? And I could say I heard that, but it would be no proof because it's nowhere on the internet. It's just one of those things that just probably happened at a quick snippet. You know what I mean? And I can't even find that, but I've heard it. But if Steve Harvey said what he said, you know what I mean? Listen, more power to him. You know, more power to Horse Thief. You know what I'm saying? All right. Paula says, if I have disciplined my son, if I would have disciplined my son, he wouldn't be out here on drugs right now. I spoil him too much, and he has no respect for me. So yeah, that's another thing to worry about: spoiling your kids without disciplining them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I spoil my kids, but they get that work. You know what I'm saying? They definitely gonna get that work, just like how I got that work, but I was also spoiled. I'm still spoiled. You know what I'm saying? But I did get that work when I was a kid. I think my last beating was like at the age of 10. And after that, I was just a cool kid after that. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ is Lord. King of Kings says we got dropped at school by my mom because we would allow the Chris want to spank me. I don't get that part. He says then he made a phone call to my mom, and she came down to the school with a belt and whooped me. What is allowed the Chris at Jesus Christ Lord King of Kings? What is that? Jinju says never been whipped, only child, and I'm not spoiled. Stop it. S. Elliott says greetings, Tony and everyone. What advice would you give to a parent that has a child that destroy your things when you discipline them? Listen, wow, that's a good one. Wow, that's definitely a good one. Let me read that again. He says, what advice would you give to a parent that has a child that destroy your things when you discipline them? Listen, listen, let's get it in. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it in. It's how you disciplining them to that person. What type of demeanor are you giving? Are you disciplining them in a way of like not being serious? You know what I'm saying? Because you could discipline a child, but they ain't gonna respect it. Some kids don't even respect the art of another parent discipline them because they think it's just all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I could do whatever and get away with it. But when you really give the business, you know what I'm saying? The business, when you take it to that level of destroying things, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. That's probably gonna be the only reason why I probably get put in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? Because I ain't having that at all. You know what I'm saying? Listen, my kids is definitely gonna respect me at the end of the day. You know, I ain't allowing that if that was to happen. That's just me at the end of the day. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But blessingly, I ain't got that issue. You know, but if that was the case, I'm sorry. I gotta take it another level up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take it another level up. Now, now I gotta bring the real art of a butt whipping out there with these hands and these legs and these wrestling skills for sure. All right, for sure. And I'm not condoning violence. You know, definitely not condoning violence at all. But some kids just need to level up on discipline for sure. You know, because that's almost like I think I got hit lightly, and then I probably say, you know what, that didn't really hurt. You know, but guess what? After that, now I got to beat with the belt or the hanger. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a level up on me, and which my mother probably did to me back then. You know, so she leveled up on me. You know what I mean? I remember I got a whooping by my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I took like $5 or something. But I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 7 or 8 or something. You know what I mean? Whew. Yeah, I got whooped for sure. You know what I mean? Definitely got that work. All right. Shelly Hudson says, went to jail for whooping my son. Was there for 23 and a half hours, but I told social services I will whoop him again, but with love. Where now law enforcement will beat him like Rodney King. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I don't know what's up with these laws out here. You know, some states, they don't allow that stuff. You know, they rather the child not to get disciplined and then run into the police and act a fool versus the child having discipline first at home from his or her whoopings. They don't want that. You know, they want to handle things themselves. You know what I mean? Which is crazy and silly. Tyler says, one time my dad smacked my brother with a metal spatula for getting out of line. I was young, so I was trying so hard to not laugh in front of him because if I did, I knew I was next. Well, hey, listen, man. Listen. Listen. Whatever floats your boat. You know, whatever floats your boat. Sometimes that can happen, man. Sometimes that worst things probably has happened to us who grown up. Some people got beat with wooden bats and whatnot, you know. But at the end of the day, a lot of us say, "Man, I'm thankful that that happened. I'm thankful that I got whooped with a metal bat, a wooden bat, a switch from outside with thorns on it, you know, and any type of discipline that we received. See, we're thankful for those things. And these days, if we was to hit our child in public with a switch with thorns on it and stuff like that, you know, people take their camera out, call the police. Oh, this person is a bad parent and all this other stuff, you know. But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? O says, if you disrespect elderly people, that's another thing. Stacey Anderson says, as an educator, we are bound by law. When we see bruises or whelps, marks, protective services, or our teacher license can be revoked. Well, listen, understandable because I was in, school for elementary education and stuff like that and things of that nature, you know. So I can understand you a little bit, but guess what? Guess what? For some reason, when we got beat back in the day, there was no bruises. You know what I'm saying? Parents back then, they knew how to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember getting beat. Man, I ain't had nothing on me. I don't know how it was done. It hurt when I was young, but I ain't had nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. But I can understand what you're saying at Stacey Anderson. You know what I mean? He says bruises and whelps. You know what I mean? But we got whooped and stuff like that, and no bruises, no nothing. You know what I mean? But I've heard of cases like that, whereas though a child had bruises and stuff like that, and the teacher had to report things like that. But at the end of the day, listen, if I get in, if hypothetically speaking, if I was to get in trouble with the law, like somebody said earlier, get in trouble with the law, or they had to sit in jail for 23 hours, I'd do it again. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it again in order to save my child's life a little bit more, versus having them run into like situations on the outside when they grow up and they're not disciplined enough. So I would take that chance of keep on disciplining them over and over again. You know what I mean? And really state my case. Like, listen, this is how it is. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these kids out here are in prison, are in gangs and stuff like that because they wasn't disciplined a certain way. You know what I mean? A bruise or whelp, you know what I mean? It's not as worse as them running to a police officer and a police officer killing them, or them getting involved in the gang and stuff like that, or them going to prison later on for life for murdering somebody because they didn't have discipline and whatnot. The law is crazy. I understand we got to follow our jobs and stuff like that, the law and this and all that. But me, I'm different, man. Hey, if I got to discipline my kids and I get in trouble, hey, so be it. It's to save their life or try to save their life even more and more, to instill more discipline in their mentals. That's just me. You know what I mean? Me, blessingly, I didn't go into that lane of becoming a teacher, but I really understand things of that nature. From Stacy Anderson. Genju says, I don't believe in beating kids. That's wild. Well, whenever you have one, okay. Whenever you get married and decide to have one, you'll see. You'll see why. You'll see why. You know what I mean? Single people, those who don't have kids, they don't understand the mechanism of having kids. They may say, oh, I got nieces and nephews and stuff like that. Okay, that's cool and everything. You know what I mean? But it's different when you got your own child. And you're going to see the tests and the trial and tribulations these kids going to put you through. You know what I mean? If you see your child doing something wrong as far as stealing something or whatever the case may be, you're going to discipline them. You're going to give them the pow on the hand or something, plucking the ear or whatever. I try to play it safe. A pluck in the ear, a pow on the rear and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. But you're definitely going to understand if it's designed for you to have kids later on down the road. Sheila, my fault. Trisha says, my cousin who was 12 at the time went to school telling the counselor her mother whoops her, and the school ended up calling DC, I guess, DIFUS or whatever, on my aunt for whooping her. Now she can't whoop her at all. Listen, call whoever you want. I tell my children, listen, call whoever you want, call law enforcement or whatever, because the moment I get out, I'm going to do it again. For sure. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to definitely do it again. Blessingly, in the state of North Carolina, the laws are different in reference to whooping and stuff like that. They're a little more eased at it. You know what I mean? So I don't know what other states don't allow it, but over here in North Carolina, you know what I mean? I done looked it up already. There's a little more ease, so we could lay the smack down a little bit more out here on children for sure. All right. Genju says Steve Harvey and his third wife and 100 kids needs to go away somewhere. He is a clown. Well, with Steve Harvey, some things he just don't need to say. He just need to stay in his lane of, doing comedy, doing his talk shows, doing Family Feud and stuff like that. He don't need to step into religion, something he's not sharp at all. You understand that? People like him think they could do everything. They could talk about politics. They could be a politician. They could be a preacher. They could do this, do that. Listen, stay in your lane of what you know. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You know what I mean? Because you're dealing with people who are really sharp, who are really blessed at what they're doing. You know what I mean? So that's like him trying to challenge Floyd Mayweather and stuff like that in the ring. You know what I mean? Why you think just because you're Steve Harvey, you can really take on the challenge of somebody like Floyd? I'm just using it as an example. You know what I mean? So if you're mentioning Geno Jennings, listen, man, the principles are the same. But the only difference is Gino is sharp at the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And I never even heard Steve Harvey speak upon any scripture, but he thinks just because he's who he is, he think he could do it. I would love to see that challenge. I would love to. Listen, Ricky Smiley, he ran, or he didn't show up, or whatever. Now Steve Harvey's up next. You understand? And I definitely would be there for sure. You know, listen, Steve Harvey's cool. He doing Family Feud. You know what I mean? Survey says and all that other stuff. That's cool and everything. You know what I mean? But people like him need to stay in his lane. Oh, you say he disrespected on Dr. Umar's page. I mean, if you got the link, send it to me. Dr. Umar is another clown. You know, he's another one. Dr. Umar, he's another one. Brother Polite is another one. Jesus Christ, Lord, King of Kings says Steve Harvey's appointment for money. My opinion. Tariq Nasheed is so disrespectful to women and men. I've heard of Tariq Nasheed, but I haven't really listened to him. I've heard of him, so I really don't know what to say about him. I haven't listened to him, you know. Aaron Sparrow says, I'm so glad my dad used to kick my butt. Jesus Christ is Lord King King says, my correction on my comment, Steve Harvey is a puppet for money. Steve Harvey is a puppet for money. Listen, Steve Harvey need to check his so-called daughter, Lori Harvey, who's running around here. You know what I mean? Jumping from men to men to men. That's what we need to check. You need to check his so-called daughter, Lori Harvey, if that's his real daughter biologically. You understand that? And she had a man, Mr. Michael B. Jordan, a good guy from Jersey, you know what I'm saying, who she declined and stuff like that. See, women like that, they want to run around and tip and dip and stuff like that, versus having a real genuine brother like Michael B. Jordan, you know what I mean? So I don't understand these Harveys out here. Not Harvin, but Harveys. You understand? Anthony Brody says, bro, my big mama would make me go get my Switch, and I better not come back with no small one. Oh, man. Snoop Dogg. I mean, I never heard Snoop Dogg saying anything about PJ. I haven't heard it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard it. But I did hear Steve Harvey before and Ricky Smiley before, but I haven't heard Snoop Dogg at Gin Juice. Tasha says, my mom beat us with stitching cords. Sister Shay says, as a single mom, I do discipline my son because if I don't curve him from now, years down the line, I may live in regret. Stacey Henderson said, you risk losing your child to foster care. Listen, I trust God. You understand? I trust God and I trust the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? If the scriptures speak about spare the rod of the child and stuff like that, I got to trust God in that. You know, I'm not going to sit here and beat my child into a pulp of blood. You understand? So I don't care what the law says in reference to beating or disciplining your children. You know, blessedly in the state of North Carolina is very different. You know what I mean? Parents can discipline their kids without the cops being called and stuff like that. So that's the good thing about North Carolina. But I do know when I was in Jersey and New York and stuff like that, all those, you know, strict laws or whatever, that can happen. You know, but even if I was up there, I'm still going to discipline my kid at the end of the day, but not to an extent of beating a pulp at him, or, you know, and things of that nature. No. When I'm talking about discipline, you know, a hard pluck on the ear, the hand, you know, a pow, and things like that. Nothing to, you know, leave them bruised up like crazy, like we was in a fight or something like that. No, not at all. Just to keep them in line, keep them in order. But blessedly, me personally, I don't really have to do that. All I got to do is just look at them a certain way and things like that, or yank them up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that comes from being disciplined and things like that. It comes from being a firm parent and meaning business at the end of the day. So I don't have to go into the realm of, you know, whooping them like crazy and things like that. You know what I mean? But they do know that daddy will give them the business if that's the case, you know. But I do understand you as Stacey Anderson for sure. You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, a lot of kids act the way they act because they know they can call DYFUS, You know what I mean? But I would recommend a lot of those parents in those states to really look at the laws of child discipline. Whatever state you in, just research it for sure. Definitely research it. You know, Sheila Hudson says, "In my back," he says, back in my day, parents didn't mind the school system and neighbors discipline your kids. You do that today, you get assaulted or you might get killed." Tasha said, "You're allowed to spank your child. You just can't use an object to spank them. I took parenting classes on the subject." That could be true. It also depends on what state you're in. You know, it depends on the state and what their laws on disciplining your kids. Anthony Brody says, "Bro, I've seen what happens when you spare the rod. Lady was in a store and I wouldn't get the child what she wanted, and she fell out in a fit in the middle of the floor, and mom looking embarrassed." Oh man, as Elliot says, if you have a good parent and they discipline the child out of love and CPS was called, sometimes CPS can put your child in a situation where they really get abused. Wow. Jinju says, okay, you're talking about Dory Love. Understandable. Knowledge Shalom Creek says, these kids don't fear their parents today. I used to take the long way home when I knew what was waiting on me at home. Oh man. Okay. All right. O says, I love men that stand up to discipline. The children, my father started beating me after the age of 12, but I laughed at him when I was younger. Didn't even take him serious. Wow. Captain Sparrow says, more shine for First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thanks to Steve Harvey. Moni says, okay, you say you sent some clips. Appreciate that. I'll check them out later. What up, Maddie? Hope all is well. O says, amen. We must discipline them, else God will deal with us. Moni says, Steve Harvey didn't like the best man to prop up for his daughter. Now she's left that good man who wanted to marry her and now is pregnant, which is terrible. It's like, really, so not a good character. Absolutely. Absolutely. The chick is pregnant. I didn't even know Lori Harvey was pregnant. Unbelievable. You understand? You had a good guy, you know what I'm saying, who's not out there. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan, who wasn't out there. You don't hear nothing about this man. You understand? A good fella who wasn't out there tipping and dipping, who was really for his woman at the time, Lori Harvey. But she didn't want to, she didn't want that. You know what I mean? She into that in crowd and you know what I mean, she want to tip and dip. Now she's knocked up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me look that up right quick. I mean, I don't like talking about these celebrities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Let me just see right quick on the doesn't appear. It said she didn't appear to be pregnant. You know what I mean? Oh, that's they talking about back in January, and it's talking about with Michael B. Jordan. So I don't know how true that is if it's his baby, but I don't really care. Let's just stick to the topic at hand. All right. Captain says those who care about their children and did not spare the rod knew how not to hurt in a devastating manner. Absolutely. Absolutely. O says you will be judged for how you bring up your children. What up? Okay. Mona says I'm down with discipline, but my mother abused me from burning me with irons and straightening cones, pistol whooping me. What? Your mother pistol whipped you? Wow. And burnt you with irons and straightening combs. That's crazy. And that's a different level. That's torture right there. That's torture. And stab you with forks and knives, biting you. Nah, that's some crazy stuff right there. That's definitely some crazy stuff. What up, True Seeker? He says every child is different. What may work for one may not work for the other. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Sheila, what is that? Hudson says anybody that tried to go up against PJ with the word of God better know what they're doing. Going up against him would be like in the ring with Ali or Tyson together. Absolutely, absolutely. I use this. Uh, I use this example all the time. Because you got a lot of people out there. It's almost parallel to somebody who's never been in a ring before. And they go into a boxing gym or a fighting gym and just look like I could take on that brother. Listen, this brother is running 5 miles in the heat. This brother is sparring 10-minute rounds, 15-minute rounds. You know what I mean? For a 10-round fight, he's on him. And you just some Joe Schmo out of nowhere, out of shape, you just not even fit to be in the fight. Well, you got a lot of people out there like that. You know what I'm saying? They heart exceed what they can do. They got a lot of heart. They think they can do it, but it's levels. You understand that? It's different levels to certain things with everything. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Gino talking about he's going to go on a stand-up comedy to battle Steve Harvey. You understand? You understand that? You know what I mean? You don't see those things. Jinju says she's pregnant. What? Who? Oh, I listen. I don't know, but Steve Harvey definitely need to watch himself for sure. All right. Moni says so. Imagine having somebody every time they have a bad day, they're going to stab you with bottles, hit you with shoes in your head, face, bite on your arms, and leave scars on your hands. That's crazy. I've never heard of a situation like that, where as though a mother stabs their kids and bites them and stuff like that, and put hot irons on them. That's definitely unbelievable. Definitely unbelievable. That's torture right there. That's something they do overseas. Torture. Definitely torture. So you said so. While I do agree with discipline, there are some that take it to a level that I had to go through, and I'm in my 50s and I'm still dealing with the emotional and mental trauma post traumatic. Moni says, "Wow, that's something crazy right there." You know what I mean? It's sad that you had to go through that, for sure. You know what I mean? I do believe in disciplining kids, but not to the extreme like that, where as though the parent bites them and you know what I mean, put hot irons on them and stabs them with forks. I don't agree with that. Aaron Sparrow says genogenesis is surgical with the scriptures. Absolutely, absolutely. You know what I mean? So Steve Harvey, you might as well prepare your grave and stuff like that. Just listen. Just get the shovel. Tell Steve Harvey go to Home Depot or Lowe's. Go buy him a shovel. Go in his backyard, dig it up, dig it up. Get his bag and stuff like that. Like how Gino did Tony Smith and stuff like that. Go listen. Just go get your bag and things like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, tell Steve Harvey to do that. At the end of the day, for sure. What up, Crystal Fuller? You says greetings TOG, and bro Tony just got on. What up, Pebbles? You're sorry to say this, but your mother needs to go to jail for her behavior for damage that she has done to you. Well, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that at Pebbles for sure. When a parent or if a parent burns their kids with hot irons and stabs them and bites them and stuff like that, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of like sick and crazy for sure. I've never heard of that. You know. Ugh. Excuse me. What up, Emmett Spears? What up? What up? What up? Hope all is well. I'm trying to see if I missed any comments because we're about to conclude this live. We're definitely about to conclude this live, and I hope everybody have a wonderful evening. Be on the lookout for more biblical discussions, for sure. Be on the lookout for more biblical discussions. We got a few coming up, a few interesting biblical discussions. If anybody's interested in being on biblical discussions episodes, feel free to email me, boxertonyharvin@gmail.com, because I see a lot of people in the comment section, in the chat room, saying this and saying that. Listen, just bring it to the public. All are welcome. Everybody is welcome to come on. This is neutral grounds, despite what I believe in or whatever. Either you're going to tell the truth or you're going to tell a lie. at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Either you're going to tell the truth, or either you're going to tell a lie from the scriptures, for sure. So this is live conversations number 121. You know, we talked about child discipline in these days versus before, for sure. You know, so Lord willing, be on a live tomorrow. You know, Lord willing, or we will have a live debate tomorrow. I think it's a live debate tomorrow. Hopefully, you know, is in the works right now. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say the topic. I'm not, you know. So just stay tuned. It might happen tomorrow. It might be two other biblical discussions coming up too. You know, it's going to be some interesting conversations and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And listen, anybody could have biblical discussions in general. You know, anybody could have it. You know what I mean? So tune in. Definitely tune in when it happens, for sure. All right. Let me read these last comments and we're gonna sign off for sure. All right. Peace to you at Crystal Fuller. You says, oh, it says it's important to discuss upbringing matters with your potential partner before getting married. Absolutely. Aaron Sparrow says he said Steve Harvey may as well prepare for his grave. For sure. Jindu says you need to sleep, Tony. Don't be falling asleep while driving. I'm gonna dip out for sure. Peace, peace. You know. All right. We're signing off. Hope everybody have a wonderful evening. Peace out.